At some point in your life, you got to realize that like you really have to separate yourself from people at some point. That like you can't really take everybody with you, and it'd be hard because it's like, especially at the cost of you trying to be consistent. It's so hard to stay focused when you have so many distractions. When you have a calling on your life and God has called you to do something, that's when the enemy wants to attack the most. That's when your friends that are doing foolish things want to contact you. That's when like everything just seems to go kind of downhill in terms of what comes at you. You feel me? And it's just up to us to be in our word for one, and keep speaking to God for guidance and discernment on whether we should be doing this or doing that, going this direction or that direction. You feel me? And it get hard, like, you feel me? Like, for me, this journey of, doing this YouTube stuff, content creation and all of that, like, it's has taught me a lot. Like, I haven't really been like consistent for real. These past few weeks I've been backed up on like a lot of work, and things been piling up, and adversity has been hitting where you have to really push, because once you have that green light to go, you have to keep your foot on the gas. And if you take your foot off the gas, then like, what do you expect to happen? Like, things are going to slow down and you're not going to feel as motivated. And I've been in that space, but I've also been seeing that the things that, like, some of the reasons why I feel like that is also by the distractions and the people that want some of my time, but I have to value my time a lot more than that. I feel like it's something that we all struggle with, but it's something that is so hard to notice, because when your friends are texting you and everything, people want to hit you up and they want some of your time. You see it as, oh, I'm about to hang out with my mans or this and that, but the whole time, like, they're stopping you from being a little bit more productive throughout the day. Like, that time, that little 3 hour, 4 hour period of you doing something with that person or spending the whole day with your friend could have been used for you to make another video, to work on your content, or finish some work, or whatever it is that is productive. And just those simple things, especially when it comes to your calling, make the biggest difference. And especially being a follower of Christ, you don't want to delay your purpose, and you want to be able to stay obedient and follow God and keep your eyes on God in the midst of all of it. I definitely know one of the main things that can help would be fasting. And this is something I always mention, but fasting helps so much, because the things that you're using to sustain your life, or the things that you're using and you feel like you need every day, are the things you need to be giving up, so that you can get a clear eyes view on what you should be removing from your life, or in what ways you should be walking. You feel me? Fasting builds our relationship with God, because when you look at things like food and water, those are the things that sustain us. Those are the things that we feel like we need so much. And those are the same things that we should be fasting, because we feel like we need it. But we understand that through Christ, life is eternal. We understand that through Christ, we honestly need him. And when you depend your whole life on Christ to keep you up, to keep you alive, that is growing your faith in him, so that no matter what you go through in your life, you have trust in God, because he has sustained your life when you feel like you needed something else. He has sustained your life when you felt like you needed that water or that food or your phone, or you need that relationship with that person. He has sustained your life. He has sustained your spirit. We can't say that we trust God, but whenever tribulation comes, we fall. We say, the enemy's doing this and that. But the second that time comes where we get our blessing in that tribulation period, we say, oh, it was all in God's plan. But when he was going through that stuff, crying and being emotional, it was the enemy. You feel me? I find it so crazy how we often never question the enemy's existence, but we always question God's existence. We can always feed into the negative, into the bad thoughts. And when you walk in surety, when you walk in positivity and goodness, and when you honestly walk how Christ has walked, I'm telling y'all, this will lead you in a way better path, because you're not going strictly on the basis of your emotions, but knowing that God has your back no matter what. I picture it like a straight line. God is a straight line. He stays the same. He's faithful, loving, the exact same. You feel me? And as humans, we have our emotions. We go up and down. If something good happens, we're happy. If something bad happens, we're sad. But whenever we work in a straight line, and we actually move how God moves, we're trusting in him. If God is the same, and he's always faithful, loving, and graceful, and he's merciful, and we trust in that, then that means whatever we go through, we should not complain. I don't want to jump around in topics too much, but these go together, because when you're trusting in God and trusting in him, this allows you to be able to discern certain things properly. This allows you to build that closer relationship, to know the right ways to walk, to know the right path to go down, to know who you should separate yourself from. And that plays a big role, because that's like your guidance. You know what I'm saying? When you're trusting in God and you're trusting in him, all of these things follow. You're gonna naturally begin to discern people, good people or bad people, or feel people and say, this person, I don't want to be here. I should be with that friend group. I got to do this and that differently. You know what I'm saying? Like those play a big difference. You're gonna always be at peace, right? Because you understand that if I'm going through this right now, I'm gonna get something good out of it. You feel me? And I find it so crazy because I feel like God oftentimes brings light out of darkness, not darkness out of light. Because when you look at your situation and like your life and the things that you go through, you know, when you have a story or you hear somebody's story that is all good, there's nothing you can really take from it, right? What have they learned? When you go through so much disaster and everything in your life, somehow it makes your story a lot better and more inspiring, because where you once were and where you are now are two completely different things. We have to find so much light in our testimony, because although you went through so much, this story that you have holds value to inspire somebody else. Because in that struggle and in that mishap, in all the chaos you went through, you have built your faith because God has brought you out of it, right? And so you see people who feel like their situation and everything they're going through is so bad, but when they hear your story, it gives them faith. Our testimony is allowing other people to like basically grow in faith, because they're hearing that, oh shoot, like my situation is not that bad as that person's, and they got through it. So whatever I'm going through, I can get through it myself. Being transparent, in my opinion, makes the biggest difference in growing in relationships with anybody. You know what I'm saying? To even go with God, you have to be transparent. You have to, confess the things and, humble yourself and not be so prideful and feel like you know it all, but humble yourself and acknowledge your wrongdoings. And that is allowing your relationship with God to get a lot better. And when it comes down to even being with friends, when you're transparent, that's how you get to know the person, who they truly are. That's how you get to discern that person through their authenticity and through their stories and everything you hear about them. And so when you're transparent with somebody about your situation and the struggles you go through, as I said before, this is going to inspire other people. This is going to show you that whatever you're going through, that person's going through even worse, or they're going through the same thing. And that allows y'all to connect, because you guys can work together to overcome whatever you're going through. Everything in our life has been set out for us to be so separated, and I feel like that's where everything has went wrong, is that there's so much things that dissect us, that put us apart, but we don't understand that working in one accord allows us to be, to have more of a connection, more positivity, to work together, to realize that we all should be loving each other. And I know that I'm really kind of going a lot in different topics, but this usually happens when I'm talking about certain things spiritually or whatever. But the conversation ends up going to different things, and I build on different topics because I want my talks on these videos to be so authentic and be so real. And that's what I want to do a lot more, is just talk to y'all. I just want to act like this is me having a one-on-one conversation, because that's how you build that connection. You know what I'm saying? That's how you build that trust, and that's how you build a community of people. And I've always mentioned that I've made this YouTube channel on the foundation of God. I really wanted to make sure people get the right information, and it's out of pureness, out of love, out of God's love. And simply just one video, simply just one sentence can change somebody's life. I don't care if I have 100 views. I don't care if I have 50, 10 viewers. As long as somebody's getting this message, that means so much to me, bro. But yeah, just to go back to what I was saying, when you're trusting in God, this is what gives you that clear path. And that's the same thing that we're all looking for. We're all looking for peace. We're all looking to enjoy life and do things that fulfill us, or like make us feel fulfilled. And it's all through God. God will give you the right guidance and will allow you to see things in a clear view. And you won't feel worried, because you know exactly where to go. When you have a clear path, you know, who wouldn't feel peaceful knowing exactly where to go? But in the midst of you knowing where to go, just understand that there's going to be distractions. This is kind of the thing that pulls people away the most, is the distractions. You have to be very, very aware. Look at who you're around when you do certain things. Look at when you do certain things, what time you do certain things. Look at what you can change in your environment in order for you to bear good fruit and do things that are good. You got to be more conscious of your decisions, so that you know what you should change in the future, so that your walk becomes a lot easier. But most importantly, that all comes down to putting God first. That's the most important thing. It's just talking to God and asking for that guidance, and He will make straight your path. The Bible says, do not lean on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. And that's where we will find our purpose. That's where we will find our fulfillment. That's where we will be at peace. And through that, and through our testimony of finding that peace, through our testimony of putting God first, that's what will bring other people in and increase their faith as well, because they heard your story. But yeah, I didn't really want to make this video too long. But I just wanted to kind of encourage y'all, and you know, kind of, I know that it's hard, and right now I'm struggling with being consistent. I'm struggling with getting back on track a little bit with these videos, and I really keep saying I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna be back up on my stuff, but I'm human. But a righteous man falls 7 times and gets back up. So I'm gonna get back up every single time I get inconsistent or I feel, unmotivated. It doesn't matter. At least I'm still pushing every single day and I'm getting something done on the side. So yeah. I hope this video helped and that you guys learned something from it. As always, be safe, stay in your word, keep putting God first, and stay blessed.